Hi, this is Gary Cato with Project SOS, and I'm very proud to sponsor this episode of Salute. We hope you enjoy it.
Welcome to Central Florida Salute YouTube. I have a special guest here that's a dear friend of mine. He's a singer, songwriter. He served in the United States Marine Corps and also as a fireman. And his name is Mr. Jeff Letourneau.
How you doing,
Welcome to the
Bob?
show, brother.
Always good to see you, sir. Brother. How's that better?
Yeah. Call me sir, you make me feel old.
I know.
Besides that, you outranked me, so I couldn't. You can't call me sir. But Jeff, tell our viewers a little bit about yourself. Where are you from originally?
I was born in Maryland, but I've been here since I was like 1 year old. I've got 6 brothers. They're all from right around here, and came back after military service. Lived here, did a little traveling, and that's where I'm from. I'm from here, so I'll say I'm from here. I've been here since 1960. So
Yeah. Well, that's good. So you went into the Marine Corps. Why did you go to the Marine Corps?
it was a family tradition.
Oh, you
Yeah.
got other family members?
Yeah. My little brother, actually 1 year younger than me, went in first. He went in like 6 months in front of me. And I figured it didn't kill him, so I'll go in.
He's not going to show
right.
you up.
Right. So, and my dad was in the Marines before. My grandfather actually was in the Army. And it just went down through the line and that. I decided, there was nothing going on. Florida was nothing but citrus groves. And
Yeah, back then.
well,
yeah.
it was becoming something with Disney. But, still, it was a little ways.
Yeah. So you graduated high school and you said, here I come, right?
No, I dropped out of school.
Oh,
Yeah, I actually got
shame
my.
on you.
I know. Well, it's like that, or either cut wood or work the groves or whatever the rest of my life. I mean, to me, that was a thing, an option. They were still taking people back then that didn't have high school education. I got my GED in the Panama Canal Zone in Panama.
When you were in the service.
When I was in the military, they said, you got to get this done, or we're not going to be able to extend you or do anything else. So I had to get that done.
Oh, okay. So you wound up in boot camp in Paris Island,
Paris Island, yeah.
and you loved it there. You had a nice hotel and maid service.
Yeah. Nothing but a vacation that I'll never take again. I swear they'll have to kill me. But I think that's the object. Anyway, I went from there. I went into fixed wing aircraft for the Marine Corps. Went to Cherry Point for a little while. Went to New River. They put me in the helicopters for a while. And then they shipped me back over to Yuma, Arizona. And when I was at Yuma for almost a year, they had some openings in the Marine Security Guard Battalion, which is the USMC guards. And Tehran was happening at the time. They'd taken over one of our embassies, or the only embassy in Iran. And I knew some of the guys over there that were captive. And they said, listen, you can get through basically a boot camp all over again in Quantico, Virginia, and said, we'll send you out on that. So that seemed like an opportunity to me to see the world. So more.
So you were over there doing the embassy guard.
I ended up in Bucharest, Romania, and which is parts of it are Transylvania. I went up and I climbed the Transylvanian Alps. I did all that on my time off. It was, I tell you what, when you land at an airport in some of these countries, like this was 78 or 79, beginning of 79. And when you land at an airport, it's nothing like in the United States. When you see tanks and anti-aircraft guns and soldiers marching all over the place, you're in a different world, whole different world.
And then you say, what am I doing?
Yeah, what did I choose? What did I do? But it turned out to be a very, very educational. It was a good tour. It was a good tour. I went from there. That was considered a semi-hardship tour because you couldn't get anything there as far as Western goods and stuff. We had to ship them in every 6 months and keep them in freezers and stuff like that in the bottom of the basement of the Marines' quarters. And then I went from there to South America. I went to Caracas, Venezuela, which was a beautiful city at the time. That was about 1980, 81. Beautiful city. People were nice. The government at the time was very good. Did some special guard duty for at the time, Vice President Bush Sr. and another lady called Madeleine Albright.
Oh, yeah.
And they were both down there for some dignitary things, and we did special guard for that. So it was exciting. I did a lot of extra duty with some other organizations while I was down there. So I just leave it at that. So I got a whole extra like $50 a month for being shot at. Oh well.
Okay, I guess we're not going to go that road,
anyway.
huh? We don't want to go that road?
No, it's just jungle stuff. Anyway.
It's just jungle stuff, okay.
Yeah.
So where did you go after that?
After that was pretty much the end of my duty. I came out of the military, wanted to go back into something at my home state in Florida. I worked just about every job from pipe fitter to anything. I just did everything I could. And I enjoyed all the work until I didn't, and I went to something else. I ended up going into the Air Force Reserves for a couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was up in Charleston for a while, and it really, it was totally different for me.
Be nice.
No, I'm not. I'm being nice. Listen, I felt like I wanted a child. Not that they treated me bad, but nobody yelled at me for 2 years. I was like, I'm doing something wrong here. And so I went back into Marine Corps Reserves after 2 years Air Force.
So you get yelled at?
Yeah. I felt right at home. It's like moving into your old bed at home.
So you were reserves for how long?
Another year and a half or two. I think it was 2 years. I think it was 2 years. Yeah. I finally got out. Went into some different businesses and stuff like that, and just working. I went to school to be a career firefighter, and I ended up just about 25 years as a firefighter in Lake County and Mount Dora area. So.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So you did a lot of service to the country and also to the community. Now, one of the reasons I wanted to do this show with you, first place, we are Salute. It's all about military and sacrifice and service, and I appreciate everything you did in the Marine Corps. It
was an honor for me.
Yeah.
Everybody, that's what I love about this generation, this time right now. For the most part, I saw some of the stuff that the Vietnam guys. I had uncles and stuff that come back from there. They were treated horribly.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. Now, the people that respected this country and everything else, right or wrong and different about the war, they treated soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, Coast Guard even, all good. But there was sometimes, and if you look back in history, they weren't treated as well.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I know.
But you can, like I always say, you can question the war, but you can never question the war.
No.
We did what we had to do. You did what you had to do, and then you became a fireman. And I also want to tell people about Jeff Letourneau, the singer-songwriter. We did an event here. I think it was about sometime in September, with a disabled American veteran named Glenn Ike Fritz. Glenn was in Desert Storm. He's paralyzed from the chest down, and he competes in adaptive sports all over the country, mentors newly wounded veterans, and also works with children with wheelchairs. And he is a tremendous young man. To me, he's young. Of course, get the point that everybody's younger than me.
Still pretty young.
Yeah, but anyway, he was in a parade with us, and he got on a float, and he lifted himself up, plop, 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 until he got on the float. And the Veterans Committee here at the Eagles, Oklahoma 4273, saw him and they said, you know, we ought to do a fundraiser for this guy. So we did, and we raised quite a bit of money. I can't tell you right now because it's still being kind of sorted out. And I said, well, what am I going to do for entertainment? So I called up two guys. One of them is Andy Lucchini. Andy, he was a comedian. And I said, Andy, I need some talent here. You know, we're going to have a dinner and we need some talent. He says, count me in, Bob, anything for a vet. So then I said, oh, okay, I got a comedian. Now I want a singer-songwriter. Somebody's going to do some singing for us. And I had met you many, many years ago.
Oh, wow, yeah, we go back a little ways.
Yeah, and I said, well, in fact, when I was on Lakefront TV, we did a song together, if you remember.
Oh, yeah, we got to do that.
Yeah, well, I don't know, we got to do that, but you got to do that. And I called up Jeff and said, hey, Jeff, can you do it? He says, anything for a vet. And
Yes,
neither
sir.
one of them charged us a dime, and we were very successful doing it. Very proud of the Eagles Area 4273 and their commitment to veterans as well as everybody else. We are people helping people. And you did a tremendous job. And luckily, your wife won one of the prizes.
Oh,
a
she
big
was so
prize.
happy. She won any prize that she could have got. She
She
loved
got
it.
the best one.
I think so. It was all barbecue and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
get to share in it, so it was good.
Yeah,
I think it was-
Mission Barbecue donated that.
Oh,
And,
they're a great organization,
yeah,
too.
they do a
Yeah.
lot for veterans too. But like I said, you and I have known each other for a while, and you do one of my favorite songs. But then you also introduced me to a new song that you just wrote, and I said to myself, I got to get Jeff back on my show. People can see who he is and learn a little bit about him and what a great guy he is. And you can pay me later for this. And I want you to talk about the song,
Mhm.
and then I want you to play it.
Awesome.
So tell us about you know which I'm talking about.
All right. The song that I wrote? Well, I was up in Nashville, Tennessee, and I didn't go up there with any aspirations of doing anything except to go to Nashville, Tennessee. As a guitar player and a songwriter, I wanted to be inspired. I just felt I needed to go there. So I was playing on, as we used to say, a bunch of these little honky tonks and some dives and stuff, but it was fun. I played some good places, nice places, not for pay, but there's 10,000 songwriter singers up there. But I played out on the streets, what they call busking, where I would just play and talk to people that are living in the streets. And I met some people that were literally living under bridges and in tents up there, and it was the middle of December. It was like it is now, and it's like it was ice cold up there. And some of these people, it's not what you expect. You know, homeless living people. They hit a down spur somewhere, and they were college professors. They
Wow.
had such intelligence. They were veterans, preachers that lived out there amongst them. So they had the Word of God with them, which I truly believe in myself.
Yeah, you do have your own little ministry, correct? Or
I work with a ministry in Eustis, Florida. I'm just an associate minister there.
okay.
So I do
And
Sunday
so
morning
you get to
services.
see a lot of the homeless, and there is a big problem with homelessness.
We work a lot with the homeless and with some addictions and stuff like that, and we just try to help people out. That's it. To me, I don't get any money from it, and I wouldn't take any money from it, because to me it's an honor and a blessing to be able to do that, or to be called upon to do that. So I started writing and playing music when I was 50, which was, to me, is unheard of. I never picked up a guitar. I never sang before. And the Lord just put something on my heart, and it's not stopped. And next thing I know, people say, hey, we'll pay you if you play over here. I go, you're going to pay me? Awesome. So I love it. It's like my second childhood. It's great.
Yeah. So tell us about the song. Well, how'd that come about?
The song, I started talking to a man, and my wife was working on like a place downtown Nashville. It looked like a cannery row, all brick town and stuff like that. And I was on the cold side of the street. The sun was shining on the side of the street that the buses would unload the tourists, and they go into the shops, and I couldn't stand there, so I had to stand on the the shadowy side in the cold. Even in midday, it was in the 30s, and I was like, I'm over there playing. I can't even feel my fingertips. And I had a couple guys that were homeless who come up and start talking with me in between sets and stuff, and just they were telling me how they were down and things. But we had a chance to pray together. We had a chance to talk together. I had some fantastic conversations and basically a communion with these people. Some of these veterans out there, they just say, listen, we can't be around people for a little while just because of some things that are in us and we just can't straighten out yet. And, God bless them. I just come from the VA today. And I want to give a shout out, Lake Letourneau. I love that place. That is the nicest hospital. And those people have a heart that is so great. And I'm sure most all VA systems like that, but whenever I have a problem and I have to go there, and nobody wants to go to the hospital, they make you feel like, you're welcome. I'm like, praise God.
I got to give a shout out to the VA too, because my father-in-law lived with us, and he was a World War II veteran.
Wow.
And anything we needed from the VA, they were there. They treated him special. I know there's going to be times when people go somewhere and they don't quite get the response they want, and they were going to blow it up to being a big disaster type thing. But those people generally have a compassion and a heart, and they do so much good stuff. But I was impressed when you came over here for this benefit that we did for Ike, and you sang that song.
Oh,
and it's called the
Dark Side of the Street.
The Dark Side of the Street, and you kind of set the stage for it now. That you were on one side, the buses were there, the sun was there, and you're over there. And now we take a break. And we're going to move you over there so that you can sing a couple songs for us, if you would, sir.
Yes, sir, I'll try.
Okay. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Letourneau.
Thank you. On the dark side of the street, ain't no light to be found, and the wind is always blowing up off the hard cold ground. But that sun is shining on the sidewalk across the way, but the warm air just don't seem to make it across the street to stay. And it's cold on the dark side of that street. They say you can play here 'cause the seating's always free. And I listen to the words of the music you play, and dream of a home that seemed so far away. And there's preachers and there's veterans on the dark side of the street. They're camped out under bridges and they're wrapped in dirty sheets, and they're sleeping in the doorways downtown in the square, and they eat behind the dumpsters 'cause they know the evening fare. And it's cold on the dark side of that street. They say you can play here 'cause the seating's always free. And I listen to the words of the music you play, dream of a home that seems so far away. On the dark side of the street, their eyes can shine so bright, and the warmth of their soul can keep you through the night. And I'll tell you about Jesus and how he'll set you free. but your sins can keep you down on your knees. And it's cold on the dark side of that street. They say you can play here 'cause the seating's always free. And I listen to the words of the music that I played, and dreamed of a home that seems so far away. Yes, they listen to the words of the music that I played, and dreamed of a home that's not that far away.
All right, all right. You know, that song comes from the heart, you know, and I hope you get a big response out of this. And when you go to Nashville, become a big star, remember me, okay?
I will.
You know, me and Sue.
I'll send you a text. Hey, guess where I'm at?
Yeah. Miss you, Bob. Yeah. Anyway, you know, that's a beautiful song, and it really tells how it is, you know. There's so many problems with the homelessness nowadays, and hopefully we'll get past that.
Well, I hope so too. It's you know, this country is so resilient. The people, I don't. There are times we don't care for certain types of administrations or governments, but the people of this country are unique. I used to love to hear Bill Murray say, "We're all mutts. We're rejected from all the other breeds around the world, but we're mutts, but we're tough mutts." You know,
Yeah.
I love that.
But anyway, I really love that song. But you do another song that I really like, and I'd like you to do it because yesterday, we're filming this on December 8th. Yesterday was Pearl Harbor Day.
Yes.
80th year, remembering Pearl Harbor. And when I think of World War II, I think of this song, and
Too.
it's in color.
This is Jamie Johnson's song, and I tell you what, every time the first time I heard this song, immediately I thought of my grandfather who went to World War II, and he never really spoke of the things he was involved in and where he was at. He said he started out as a cook. He said. And then he wouldn't tell you anything else. He would just, bits and pieces. As a child, I remember we'd sit down in front of him and listen to it. And this song reminded me, this is called In Color. You can join in if you want.
Maybe I will.
I said, Grandpa, what's this picture here? It's all black and white. It ain't real clear. Is that you there? Said, yeah, I was 11. Times were tough back in 35. That's me and Uncle Joe just trying to survive. Cotton farm in the Great Depression. And if it looked like we were scared to death, like a couple of kids just trying to save each other, you should have seen it in color. All this one here was taken overseas in the middle of hell, 1943. In wintertime, you can almost see my breath. That's my tail gunner, old Johnny McGee. He was a high school teacher from New Orleans, and he had my back through the day we left. And if it looked like we were scared to death, like a couple of kids just trying to save each other, you should have seen it in color. A picture paints 1,000 words, but you can't see what those shades of gray keep covered. You should have seen it in color. This one here is my favorite one. That's me and Grandma in the summer sun, all dressed up the day we set our vows. You can't tell it here, but the rose is blue. It's true. I was so proud. And if it looked like we were scared to death, like a couple of kids just trying to save each other, you should have seen it in color. A picture paints 1,000 words, but you can't see what those shades of gray keep covered. You should have seen it in color. That's the story of my life, right there in black and white. And if it looked like we were scared to death, like a couple of kids just trying to save each other, you should have seen it in color.
Should have seen it in color.
Yeah, baby. Thank you, Jeff Letourneau. And let me ask you, if somebody wants to know more about Jeff Letourneau, if somebody wants to hire you and take you to Nashville, I go along with you.
Yep.
But how would they get a hold of you, Jeff?
Listen, I'm not real savvy on some of the web stuff right now. If you go to Jeff Letourneau at rocketmail.com, or go on Facebook, look up Jeff Letourneau. I'm the guy kind of wearing, there's about 4 of them, but this is the only one
That's your good
that they're
hat.
wearing. That's right. Well, it's a plain hat, but this one is my show hat.
Okay. Well,
Leave me a message. I'll be happy to friend you.
okay. And once again, I want to thank you for what you did here for the event.
Oh,
and
God.
I want to thank you for being my friend, brother.
Oh,
You know, but
that's a blessing, man.
and keep up the good work with the
Nice.
ministry and everything.
Yeah.
So, but it's time to say goodbye.
Oh,
Now, I was told that Marines have to have a cover on, so you got to have your hat on.
Yeah.
And they don't do it sitting down. So I guess. Do
I,
you do?
I'm
sit-
gonna. You look. I'm gonna make special
exception?
allowances.
All right. Good. 'Cause-
I know I'll catch it for this, but
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. Don't blame me, folks. But anyway, to all our veterans out there, active military and their families, we salute you for all you do. Till next time.
God bless.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
Since 2009, Project SOS has assisted our veterans both overseas and here at home to overcome medical issues, homelessness, and disabilities. Initially, our efforts resulted in over 22 clinics opened in Iraq and Afghanistan. Recently, as troops have been withdrawn, we have concentrated on issues here at home. During this past year, we have been able to distribute 42 motorized wheelchairs and numerous mobility devices to our local veterans who have served in World War II and up to and including Afghanistan. We continue to offer solutions to our local homeless veterans in the Ocala National Forest and other Central Florida locations. Project SOS Support Our Soldiers needs your assistance to continue helping a growing homeless veterans population. Over-the-counter medications and personal hygiene supplies are acutely needed. Your financial aid will greatly increase the support they so desperately need.